couple of years ago, I gave money to a street kid and I said, hey, you better buy food with that money. And he looked at me and he said, well, miss, if I buy food with this money, I'll sleep cold tonight. And I'll have all these problems in my head that's going to keep me awake. But if I buy glue to sniff, I won't feel the cold. I won't know the problems in my head, and I won't feel the hunger. So this is the problem of 100,000 to 200,000 South Africans every single day. We see this every single day. The problem is they no longer have the motivation to even try and get out of that cycle. Our mission is to create deeper awareness and create a compassion in people and a drive to motivate them to take action and change the lives of the people of our streets. How are we going to do this?
Okay, so our game is a text-based role-playing game. And it puts you in the shoes of a homeless person. You will be placed in a real-life situation, such as a parking lot. The game will then provide you with some choices. Do you want to beg for money? Do you want to go through the trash? Or do you just want to stand around and chat with your buddies? Take note that you are addicted to something, and that addiction has to be satisfied. The levels of this game are based upon Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. You first have to satisfy all the needs of the level you are in before you can level up. Let's take level 1 as an example. You have to gain sufficient warmth, food, and energy before you can move up to level 2. When you reach level 2, a whole new set of needs come into play. Now you have to start thinking about securing possessions, saving up some money, finding a safer place to sleep. And like this, every level brings new challenges and new needs that have to be met. However, it's not that simple. It never is. You must remember that you are addicted to something. Let's take an example, alcohol. If you don't consume enough alcohol, the game has an addiction bar and the addiction will run low. Then the game will limit your choices. Now you can only choose stuff that will lead you closer to alcohol. If you give in and take the alcohol, and you indulge in it, and you overdo it, your addiction bar runs to full. Now you're intoxicated. Once again, the game will limit your choices. Now you can either just pass out somewhere, or you can go and beg for money and get chased away. If you reach level 3, the game becomes really interesting. Now we are going to be moving away from virtual life and into real life. You're going to be going on real life missions. During your previous levels, you acquired points for every need that you have satisfied. Those points can now be traded in for cards. These cards are printable and will be handed out to homeless people. The cards correspond to the virtual levels, and they're also a practical guide to help the homeless people to move up in real life levels. As an example, level 1 cards could be coupons, which are sponsored by companies such as Pick n Pay or Pep stores. These will help the homeless people to meet the needs of their real world level 1, and then they can level up in real life. Level 2 cards are maps that can lead the homeless people to institutions where they can get free psychological help, or they can go to night shelters, or they can even go to places which offer them jobs. If organizations such as For Good, Straatlig, and Heartlines decide to embrace this project, they can actually facilitate motivational workshops, which will provide a safe environment for the gamers and the homeless people to interact. This will also help us to keep track of the progress of the homeless people in their real life levels. There will also be an online community, such as a Mixer chat room, where gamers can compare their high scores, share ideas, they can get invited to these motivational workshops. They can also create and upload new cards. And using this as a launchpad, we can rock it throughout South Africa.
If I had this game a couple of years ago, I would not have given money to a street kid, which he could use to buy alcohol or glue. I would have been able to help him, really help him. I would have been able to give him cards. I would have been able to motivate him and support him and help him change his life.